Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us?
Putting a dip in your hip, a glide in your stride. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe, with shows throughout the week. Everything you want, everything you could need. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from the spiritual to the unknown, from emotions to comedy. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so much more. This is R.I.F.T Nation Network, the RNN. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
Hey everybody, how you doing? Guess what? It's another awesome week of Love Shack. Hey Melissa, how you doing? Don't forget, sharing is caring. We're gonna have an awesome time right now. I am Raven, and then we have
Joni. How are you?
I'm Howie.
I'm June.
trying to figure out the directions here because everything's flip-flop. How's everybody doing this morning? You got your allergy haze person over here, actually a couple of us, but no worries, we go with the flow. So, yep, we have a special. We have Miss June, which actually I did listen to the show with Howie, and I have I have the app as far as the Amazon where you can get download the books if you're a member. And yeah, I started reading those. So I'm a bookaholic. I love books. I can read a novel in a day. So I freaking love them. It's awesome. So yes, very excited to have you here. I was very excited when I was watching the show. It was like, ooh, I like her. This is what I tell Ed all the time. When I see somebody's got on, it's like, yeah, we can have her more. It's like me without coffee going. So this is what we're here. We're here to help everybody with love relationships. See what happens when I'm in an allergy haze. I get a little goofy. Anybody else want to feel like talking? It's awesome. We can do that.
She took her meds.
Oh my God. Did you take steroids today or what?
No, I had to take an allergy pill without pseudometaphine because I'm allergic to it. And then I had to take my allergy spray. So this way I don't sound like this when I'm talking and saying, how are you? I can help you. Yeah, so the two combinations what I did. So.
All right.
Hey, Keith, what you doing?
Poor Drew's looking at us like, what did I do?
I've had my coffee already. I've been up since 4:30, so.
Oh my God.
We've got the
Goofy is good as
two
far as I'm concerned. Goofy is good. Goofy is good.
and the
So
coffee.
relationships, man, I'll tell ya.
You know how Joni's always that, it's like you're waiting for her to explode, but she never does. But sometimes she'll get that like that.
It's the Aries rising. It's like a volcano. Never.
Yes,
But the Libra just fuses it out.
yeah, what she said.
Yeah. Libra just says, forget
Hey,
it.
that's nice.
Not worth it.
Yeah, see, I'm much different. I know I got the Gemini, and then I have the Aries is my rising sign, right? What's this?
Gemini.
Who's talking?
Moon actually is in Gemini right now. It's a double dose.
Okay. That's what's up. Give her everything we can.
Yeah, that we do.
So
this week, Miss Joni, before we get into Miss June,
Yes.
what was the issues with family relationships? It's like everything got in the way of this family barbecue. Now, is that an astrology thing? Or is
Sure.
that just me an analogy thing?
Was it this weekend?
No, it was during the week.
Oh, during the week. I
Yeah.
don't. We'd have to look at your chart. That's fourth house.
Huh.
Cancer, fourth house. Yeah, yeah, of course.
Wow.
The,
That's curious.
the energy is crazy from now astrologically until the end of July. Actually, it just kicks in overdrive. That's why I'm
Huh.
doing the whole show with Keith and Monday, looking at the U.S. natal chart, looking at our leaders' charts, because we're
Yeah.
flipping very, very heavy.
I like
There's a
that.
lot,
See,
lot of flipping going on.
You're
I don't understand astrology, right? And then Miss June, who's a medium, I'm not. I'm a channeler. I don't call myself a medium because most of the time it's the spirit guides that are throwing information at me. But Miss June is an actual medium. Now, do you get a lot of people complaining at you about relationships or asking a lot of relationship type advice?
well, that's what my expertise in is relationships.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
That's
I have
awesome.
a program, the relationship mastery program that I run online. So that's
Wow.
what I do.
Ah, that's awesome.
You also have a Venus retrograde coming up, so you're in the shadow period for that right now. So that's what's causing a lot of the issues right now with families.
Yes.
Ah,
Well,
see, I thought it was
Venus
just allergies.
and Venus is really hooked up with Mars all summer. And remember the beginning
Oh,
of
so you guys can actually
yeah,
communicate over there. And
Venus
I'm over
is,
here in left field going, what?
and she's in Leo in retro, so she's very proud and she's very loud. So she's making
Oh,
herself
damn.
known with all the boys in the universe. Calm it down. She's in charge. She is. We love it.
Boy, Ed's sitting up here in the corner going, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna stand here and
Yeah. I love that you do relationships. I love it. I think it's
yeah.
so needed. I mean, that's the main question I get are on relationships.
Well,
Yeah.
everything is a relationship. Your boss is a relationship. Your child
Yeah.
is a relationship. Your family is a relationship. Your friends. Relationships just not sexual.
Right.
Everything's a relationship.
Very true. Very true. Need the fan.
Have you found, though, in the past couple of years that relationships, do they seem to be rockier with people or do they seem to be
Then I don't think they're any different than they've been for the last 20, 30 years. However, because of COVID, you've got a lot of people that stayed together for financial reasons or out of fear. You've got a lot of people that have gone over to the dark side and think that open relationships are the way to go. No commitment, no monogamy. It all speaks to just less and less value system.
Is that because it's something that the children, do you think that's younger people or do you think the older generation is doing that as well?
They are. There's no age limit. There's no age restriction. It's it's a philosophy that started to take over. Again, everybody thinks we're in some political war. We're not. We're in a war of good and evil right now, and
Yeah.
it starts with breaking down the family because that's where it all starts. That's where your lessons begin. You chose this family before you came here, and you chose them for a reason. And blood is always thicker than water, and it doesn't mean that you have to have a relationship or love, a close relationship with the people in your family. If it's part of your lessons, unconditional love. Love them and let them go. If they're toxic to you, you don't need to stay in their vicinity. You don't need to have them in your life. You can, love them and let them go.
Yeah.
That's anybody. That's anybody that's in your life that's toxic, that is causing you issues that they don't belong in your circle. Bottom line, you don't hate them. You don't need to say, I can't stand that person, I don't want them anyway. No, everything's energy. You love them and let them go.
Yes.
Let them go live their life. Wish them well. Hope that they get on their path. Maybe that is their path.
I agree with that. I really do. Both Howie and I have been through the toxic relationship type thing.
I think most families have. I think most families have someone, and if you don't have them in a family setting, you end up with them in maybe a love relationship.
It was a friend. Yeah.
because it's a lesson that you have to learn. It's
Right.
all, we're all here to learn specific lessons, and you're going to learn it one way or another.
Yep.
All
I
right.
went through that this year, and I was the only person left within the family unit that was saying, let's keep this person in, let's give this person a chance. And everybody was like, nope, nope. And then I finally had to do exactly that, June. It was like, I'm not angry, I'm not mad, I still pray for you, I still love you, but you've got to go.
Right.
And
And what's your lesson? Your lesson could be unconditional love, or your lesson could have been self-worth.
Yeah.
One lesson, one lesson leads right into the next lesson and keeps reinforcing the next lesson.
Yeah, I agree with that. A lot of the things that I deal with is more like a type of a spiritual type counseling thing where people's self-worth and self-esteem are at a low, and a lot of that has to do with what you do, and what Joni does, because it has to do with the relationship aspects of things and the people they allow to stay in their lives.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
that causes a really large self-esteem issue. So it's
Right.
like you have to know the path of love, whether it's loving, friendship, it doesn't matter which type of love it is, in order to get, because when they come to me, they're really down, and I've got to build them up and then send them on their
Well,
way.
remember, self-esteem is how you
Yeah.
think other people see you. It's part of your human experience, because that's
Yep.
what we are, souls living a human experience.
Yep.
But it's not the lesson that your soul needs to learn to advance. That's self-worth. And
Yeah.
self-worth is very different from self-esteem. Self-worth is understanding that you are the cumulative of everything else, and that your value is beyond anything because you are the only one of you.
That's right.
I like that. I like that. Eddie, you talking?
Yep. Nope. I'm just listening right now. I'll
Well-
get my licks in.
God,
I'm sitting here going, okay,
Yeah.
it's time for me to listen and learn, because I have questions that I have a few things that I wanted to ask, but I'm sitting here, and it's what y'all are talking about right now is recapping 2021 and 2022.
Yeah.
I think that's what Keith just said too. We are recapping what he and I went through. So I'm just learning and then trying to understand, and I'm perfectly getting the point. I'm like, yeah, it's absolutely true. But on the flip side, I do have that question. What makes us want to get into a relationship that we know is toxic?
It's not a matter of what makes you want to get into it. You planned this life before you came here. And you may owe karma to that person, or they may owe something karmically to you. And that toxic relationship is teaching you one of your 5 love lessons, whether it's self-worth, whether it's unconditional love, money and balance, patience, or communication and trust. Everyone has to learn those 5 lessons.
Huh.
What is it that you're supposed to be learning from that person? That's what you need to ask yourself, because if you don't learn it, you're going to go on to the next relationship that will be exactly the same until you learn that lesson.
So it's the notorious opportunity.
Everything in life is an opportunity, and that's how it needs to be looked at. And no one is doing anything to you. If your wife cheats on you or husband cheats on you, they didn't do it to you. They didn't do anything to you. They did what they were supposed to be doing. How it affects you is completely different. Everything is perspective. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing in this life path. Maybe they had to do that to understand your value. Maybe they had to do that to understand communication and trust. Maybe they had to do that because they had no self-worth. You
So
don't
does that go
know,
in
but
line
it's
with,
not.
like- Sorry.
Even though you're in a relationship, you love and care for that person, and you think what they're doing to you is terrible, they're not doing it to you. They're not doing it because of you. It's really got nothing to do with you. It's just that they're in a relationship with you.
Huh. So does that go along the line with a couple of other things, like when you're creating and your self-esteem is low, the individual has created themselves as a human doormat. Like people come in and kind of wipe their feet. So that has to do with the self-worth or the self-esteem issue.
Okay, so again, self-esteem is a human emotion. Okay, and it's how you think other people see you. It's part of your ego. It's part of your human experience. It's got nothing to do with your soul growth. Okay, your soul growth looks at that from a higher perspective and says, wait a minute, self-worth. Okay,
Okay.
I am worth more than how someone else is treating me. I deserve to be treated the way I want to be treated. Again, and that's different for everyone.
Yeah. So that would be somebody's version of a growth, growing to learn not to allow that learning more of yourself.
So everything in the universe is energy. Okay,
Right.
we are
Yep.
not the body, right, that's sitting in front of us. We are
Yep.
the energetic soul that's inside of us.
Yep.
So in order to truly learn those soul lessons and advance your soul, you have to raise your energetic vibration, and you have to be able to learn to look at things from a much higher perspective than this 3D minutia that you're stuck in.
Yes.
Okay, because that's where you've got this whole self-esteem and ego. Those are all 3D emotions. They have nothing to do really with self-worth.
Bingo.
That's
Yep.
different.
Yep. Awesome. Awesome.
So those are all of our lessons. Our lessons are all from a much higher perspective, from a higher vibration, and understanding that everyone here is on a separate journey. And even though we're interacting in different relationships, they're happening for a reason. We planned them. We planned every single one of them.
Yep.
So that we could all learn our lessons. And some people are slower than others in learning. Some people are very stubborn. The more stubborn you are, the more difficult, the longer it takes.
Right.
And, we have this illusion that we have choice. And I kind of feel that it's like part of the game that we play while we're here, because you have to remember you're nothing more than an actor in a play here.
Right.
And having choice is part of that. So if you're making your choices from your head's a computer, okay? Your head has a specific job. Your head's job is to protect you. The brain's job is to protect you. How does it do that? It does it by creating fear. So most people are making their decisions based on fear. And if that's how you're making your choices from your brain and fear, it's a crapshoot. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong, and you're always going to question yourself. But when you learn how to get in touch with your soul, and you're doing things from a higher vibration and a higher perspective, when you make your decisions from your soul, it's the correct decision 100% of the time. And it will always take you where you're supposed to be. At any given time, you're right where you're supposed to be.
Awesome. I like that.
A lot. June, just to reiterate what you said about we come into this incarnation and it's all laid out, it's mapped out. My mom had my astrology chart done when I was just a little girl. And the astrologist she laughed. She said, "Oh my God, I hope these aren't all marriages." Now, this is when I was little. And my mom was just like, every time I would say, "Well, guess what I went and did?" And she'd be like, "Oh, you got married." I'm like, "Yeah, again." "Oh, you got married." "Yep, did it again." And so it's all there.
It is. There's many ways. Yeah, there's many ways to find, what your map is of your life. There's many ways to find it. Okay. You can do it in an astrology chart. And my mom did the same thing, which set me on my path. She did it for all of us and we found them locked in a safe. Right. But that's what started me on my path too, wanting to understand it and move from there. And from there, now I read the cards of the Magi, which so those are that is your regular deck of playing cards. Actually, those cards are thousands of years old. It's what our Gregorian calendar is based off of. There's 52 weeks in the year. There's 52 cards in the deck. If you add them up numerically, they come to 364. If you add your Joker in, which has a numeric value of 1.25, that's your 365 days of the year and your leap year. There's 4 seasons. There's 4 suits. You have the red and the black, which signify the day and the night. There's 12 suits, and there's 12 cards in each suit. That gives you the 12 months of the year. There's 13 court cards. Those are the 13 moon cycles. So whenever someone's born, it's the same thing as an astrological chart, except it's numerology in with the astrology. So your life breaks down into 13-year cycles, 7-year cycles, 7-week cycles, 7-day cycles, and yearly cycles. And I can look at those cards. We're ruled by 13 planets, the sun, the moon, and we're born with a birth card, a planetary ruling card, and a decante ruler, which is an alternate planet. And I can look at those cards the same way as looking at an astrological chart, but I can pull out 10 times the information that I can from a chart.
Sorry, guys, itchy eyes, allergies.
I love that. So
yeah, I do. I really like that.
You can pull out so much more detail in that. I can go year by year and tell people if they're going to be losing money, gaining money, getting married, having a child, a wedding, a death, all kinds of things. It's amazing the information that you can pull out because it's so much more detailed than the chart.
So how do people get to you to get a reading like that done?
On my website, juneedward.com. It's the Cards of the Magi or the Destiny card reading.
Wow.
Now, if you guys, Magi, those are the guys that were wandering around in the desert that looked up.
Well, the Magi were the advisors to the rulers thousands of years ago.
Oh, all of them.
Yeah,
all
and the book to read these cards was held by the Knights Templar for thousands of years. And it fell into the Catholic Church hands in the late 1700s, early 1800s. And they didn't want people knowing how to read these cards. So they made parlor games out of the cards.
Yeah. I just was down that rabbit hole. It's so funny that you brought that up. I just went through that rabbit hole.
Nothing is random. I've been studying the cards now for probably about 8 years.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and I do them as part of my program. I have a 7-week online program, the Relationship Mastery Program, to help people heal their relationships, whether it's a marriage or family or just people that want to just change their energy and start attracting better things into their life. But I use the Cards of the Magi as part of that program. So once their energy shifts and they're understanding things, they can now understand where their life can go. The opportunities that will be presented to them.
Do you think a couple can heal if one of the partners does cheat?
So there's a lot worse things that happen in this life than cheating, right? You love that person. Suppose they died. Suppose they ended up physically or mentally disabled. There's a lot worse things that could have happened, right?
Right.
And again, cheating has nothing to do with the other person. It has to do with the cheater.
Right.
They wrote that into their life path for specific reasons. So when you understand that, you understand the why behind it. I've had hundreds of people go through my program that had that specific issue going on with one of them or both of them cheating. And they've not only healed, but understood, raised their vibration, gone on to have amazing lives, absolutely amazing lives. Well, and I don't work with couples. That's the other thing. I don't work with couples. Because it only takes one person to make or break a relationship. And it only takes one person to change it. When you change, everything changes. Right. For every action, there's an equal or greater reaction. You know, we're trying to work with 2 people. All you're doing is getting 2 people headbutting. That makes no progress at all.
Yep.
So one person, there's always one person that's in charge of a relationship. There's a leader and a follower. And it's always the leader that will step up to find me. That's just how it works energetically. And once that person goes through the program, everything changes. The other person is always, why are you so different? What have you done? And then they teach them what I taught them. I have people now that teach their children my program.
That's wonderful.
Now, this program doesn't just work for like relationships, but it'll also work for families, right?
A family is a relationship, isn't it?
Right.
Everything is a relationship.
Romantic relationships, it's my allergy.
Every relationship, everything. And it changes your entire life. entire
Well,
I can tell you story after story of people that have found me that were on the verge of suicide, just getting out of prison, that were alcohol. I can tell you story after story, and their lives are amazing now.
so where did you come up with your program? How did you develop your program?
Honestly, it was divinely created because I work a lot with the angels. And what I found from doing the program with hundreds of people is it only works, your energy only shifts if you do the program the way it's laid out and you do it in a timely manner. You can't jump around.
Right.
You can't start it and wait a month and go back to it. It has to be done in a timely manner in the order that it's laid out, and then your energy shifts. So I teach your energy shifts, then I have to teach you balance so that you can maintain that energy shift. And that's one of the toughest things, is to balance your energy.
That is tough.
It is very tough. And most people that teach the law of attraction do not teach you how to balance your energy. So people can hop into the law of attraction, raise their vibration, start getting stuff, and then it crashes. Because again, balance. If you have that high, you have to have that low. So again, you have to learn balance. When you learn balance, you become the magnet, and you can maintain that law of attraction permanently.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm at the wow.
But I mean, don't you think,
Taoism.
yeah,
Now
balance though would be different. It's an individual thing. Would you agree with that? That everybody's different, or is it just one kind of specific program that everybody can use?
No, it's the same program. Everybody's
Okay.
not different. Everyone's soul is the same. It's not black. It's not white. They're not green. They're not Latin. They're not Spanish. I mean, I
Right.
don't have it in different languages, unfortunately. It is only in English. But everyone's soul is the same. And what I'm teaching people is, number one, how does energy work? Number two, how to get in touch with your soul. So once you learn how energy works and you get in touch with your soul, I teach you how the universe works. And I unteach people what they think they know. And I teach them how it really works. And when they understand that, the entire perspective of everything changes.
Now, this program you're talking about, is that one of the ones that are in like book form on Amazon?
I'm sorry?
Is that on Amazon? Is that in
No.
book form on Amazon, or is that a personal class?
No, this is a 7-week online program that I do called the Relationship Mastery Program.
Right.
And honestly, I gear it towards people that are in traumatic situations, like getting a divorce or losing their families, things like that. Why do I do that? Because those are the people that are most likely to be willing to invest in themselves financially and the time to be willing to change. I've given this program away, and you know what? They don't do it because they don't value it. Everything has to stay in balance. This is why we have money. Money is energy. That's why it's called currency.
Right.
You go to the grocery store, you don't walk out the door with your food for free. You give money in exchange, so everything stays in balance.
Yes.
Everything in universe has to stay in balance. Otherwise, people don't value it. This is how you learn balance. This is why in my book, it's money and balance is together. Because money is what we use as a vehicle in 3D to teach balance.
Yes.
But I teach you how to balance your energy for your soul.
Nice.
And that's the sweet spot. That's where energetically everything comes to you. Because we're all magnets, and you're either repelling or you're attracting at any given time. And if you're not in balance,
animals,
you can't
people,
keep it.
Everything is energy.
Absolutely. Everything. Yep.
Howie, you're very quiet.
Howie's been quiet today. Howie's
I know. Him and I are in an allergy haze. So when my brain functions, I try to shoot out an intelligent question, but half the time it's not coming out right today. But go ahead, Howie.
Howie's in think mode.
Yeah. I'm in absorption mode. I already listened to her on one show, and I found you very fascinating. And I'm still, second show, and I'm still learning by what you're saying. And I find that extremely fascinating. So highly recommended, guys.
I love
the cards.
Yeah. I knew somebody that did that. Howie, you're very quiet. Speak up, dude. Come on, open your mouth. You're outnumbered here. Let your mail come out.
We know you have relationship questions. You and Keithy. Where's Keith?
Not necessarily particularly individual. It's on a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm understanding everything we've talked about.
Right.
Oh, that's a little loud. Let me break that down for a second. That's better. That's a little loud. The background was a little loud.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So, let us look at relationships together for just a second, because I'm curious now. Man, that's still back off. All right, there we go. When it comes to two people and their individuality coming together, what's the best way I want to word this? Is it because we understand there's language to expression of emotions? So let me ask you a direct question. Getting into a true relationship, do you feel that there should or should not be emotions involved in that relationship?
Okay, so emotions are the 3D expression of your feelings. Okay, you have to always remember that your soul is here having a human experience.
Mhm.
All right, you came here for a lot of reasons, and a lot of that is to enjoy this world, and you're not truly going to enjoy it as fully if you're not expressing those feelings, right? In emotions, right?
All right.
But remember, everyone is different, and some people express differently. Some men are usually, on a whole, most men are doers. Okay, they express their emotions by go build them a table, build them a house, go make something for them. This is how a lot of men express their love, right? So you, again, it's complicated. Remember that you planned whatever relationships you have before you came here. You may have planned that the first person that comes into your life doesn't understand that you're the type of person that expresses your emotions by building things or making things or maybe painting things, right? And they're expecting flowers delivered. They're expecting you to gush all over them with, oh my God, I love you more than life itself, right? So they're not happy because they have an expectation, right? That's different than how you're expressing, okay? But again, the two of you are together for a reason. Maybe you're supposed to be learning communication and trust, because you can't have one without the other. You can't open up and communicate with someone fully if you don't trust them.
Right.
You don't want them blabbing everything all over the place, right? And you can't trust them unless you've communicated enough with them to feel that connection, right? And even sex is just another form of communication in the bedroom. And if you don't trust and have that communication outside the bedroom, you're not going to have it inside the bedroom, right?
Yeah.
So then you have to ask yourself if things are syncing with the person that you're with, and they're loving the fact that this is how you express to them your emotions, right? You either go out there and you chop some wood if you're angry, or you go build them a house when you're happy, and they're okay with that, then that's fine. But if you find that the two of you are not meshing, and that's not what they want, and that's not what they like, and they're not about to change for that reason, then you have to ask, why are we together? What are we supposed to be teaching each other? What are we supposed to be learning? If we're learning that we're not compatible because our forms of communication are different, we're not going to be able to trust each other, then we just have to learn that we can communicate and we can trust each other to know that we're not compatible. I love you, but it's not going to work. We need to find someone else that we would like to be with. And that was written into your plan as well. And how long it takes you to come to that conclusion, again, depends on how stubborn you are, right? And how much you're going to delay your lesson. The longer you delay your lesson, the longer it takes you to get through your lesson. And if you don't learn the lesson in this lifetime, you're going to have to come back in another lifetime if you don't learn it on the other side. Because we learn much faster on this side, and we learn much faster within a relationship on this side than we do by ourselves.
Isn't
If you
that
sit home alone all the time, you're not going to learn a heck of a lot.
Yeah. I find that interesting that here we learn faster than on the other side.
We
It,
do. Well, you know,
it-
time really doesn't exist other than for us here. We kind of created time. On the other side, they're not sitting there watching a clock. They're enjoying themselves. They don't have a body. They're not tied down. They can go anywhere they want and do anything they want
Yeah.
and interact with whoever they want.
Right.
But
Yeah,
when
they
they
can
sit down and decide that it's time to come back here because I would like a body for a little while and have a little vacation time because I haven't been able to eat in a long time and taste food. And I haven't been able to smell the flowers. I haven't been able to enjoy sex. Let's go down and, let's go down for 50, 60 years and see how we like it. But when we go down, okay, that's part of the agreement. We've got to learn something. We've got to pay back some of the karma that we owe. And we got to collect a little of the karma that we created, right?
Right.
So we
Yeah.
come back and we plan it all out like this very, very complicated Monopoly game is what we do.
human chess.
It is. It's human chess.
It is.
And some people chose to have easier lives than others. I can look at the cards. So most people have 3 cards, in their destiny plan. And, just like different houses and different planets. And some people have 1 card for their entire life. They have chosen to have a very easygoing, quiet life. And I find that the more advanced souls have chosen the more difficult paths because they want to be challenged and they want to learn more and they want to learn faster.
That's interesting. I like that.
Yeah, it is. Now, as far as relationships, do some people like separate to learn how to live with themselves? Is that considered a relationship as well?
Well, the relationship with your own soul is the most
Yes.
important relationship.
Right.
And I think it's part of people that start to have an awakening and get in touch with their own soul will start to really enjoy their alone time because that's more of an opportunity for them to really get to know who they are, who their soul is.
Right.
You're not this body, you are the soul. When I first woke up, I spent like a year and a half just in meditating constantly, getting in touch with my soul and the other side and getting information from the other side. I was focused, very, very focused on getting to know my soul and who I was,
Okay.
who I am. That's who I am.
Yep. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. Just curious.
So, do you think, June, that people are destined to appear in your life with a love relationship? Like, for example, you can go and have so many, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, I need a break. I need to find myself. I need to. And
Everything happens. Everything happens the way it's supposed to. Okay? So your soul does not fit inside this body. Your soul is much bigger than this body. Some of it's in your body. Some of it is the aura that people say they see over your body. That's the part of your soul that's right above your body. And most of your soul is in the lowest level of heaven, which is the 5th dimension. And that's the part of your soul that orchestrates the timing for everything that happens in your life that you planned. Okay? So everything that happens in your life happens when it's supposed to. And you are always right where you're supposed to be.
See, I agree with that 100%. 100%, I agree.
And you can't make things happen any sooner than they're supposed to, and this is where patience comes in, because we always want things now, and it's worse now because we live in a society of instant gratification. Right. But your soul planned this, and your soul knows the timing for when things happen. And I'll give you a great example. When I was married to my first husband, I had 3 children. He started cheating on me 3 years prior to me learning about it. And had I known, I probably would have divorced him. And I would not have had my 3rd child with him. I was meant to have that 3rd child with him, so I did not see it. Everyone around me supposedly knew about it and thought I knew about it, and I truly had no clue. There was a veil in front of me, so I could not see it. And I truly believed everything that I was told. But no sooner was my 3rd child born, and within weeks, it hit me just out of the blue. I think he's cheating on me. And sure enough, I start checking and ask, and he owns up to everything.
Wow.
So did you divorce him? Did you divorce?
Well, I did try to make it work at first. And that's why I understand that joint counseling does not work. Couples counseling does not work. And in fact, as much as I wanted to make it work, counselors were telling me, why are you with this guy? You need to divorce him, which I would never tell someone. When someone's in touch with their soul, they know what they're supposed to do.
Right.
Okay. And I've had a lot of people that have gone through my program that were in different, similar situations. And their soul kept telling them they needed to stay. And that's what they did. And they changed their entire situation around. Okay. That was not an option for me because it was not it was not something that he was willing to stop doing. He was continually cheating on me. And that again kicked in my self-worth. I am more valuable than this. I deserve more than this in my life.
Right.
And that's when I had to leave.
Right.
Okay. Again, it all happens for a reason. It really made me look at my life and what I'd gone through. And I didn't realize I actually had PTSD from my upbringing because I had such a very difficult, traumatic, and abusive upbringing. I actually had PTSD. And I worked through that myself, believe it or not. And then one thing led to the next, breadcrumbs are wonderful. That's why I say hindsight is 20/20. You can look behind you at your life and see how everything in your life has brought you to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And it's brought you to where you are right now. There are no accidents in this world. There's no accident that we found each other, that I'm talking to you today, that someone out there needs to hear what it is I have to say. There are absolutely no accidents in this world.
Right.
And we're all put here for a reason, and we all have a path. And when you listen to your soul, you learn the path that you're supposed to be on and the journey that you're supposed to be on. And you don't live your life in fear. You live your life in trust and communication. Okay. And you will get taken to where it is you're supposed to be to do what it is you're supposed to do.
Yep.
You follow what's put in front of you.
Yep. Your brain is working there, Howie. What's up? I can see it. I can see it. What's up?
No.
Nope.
She's right. She said something that was very interesting to me, and it goes back to thinking about our own personal triggers. Talking about PTSD, how our trauma, if we've had, I'm not saying everybody's had trauma,
Right.
but let's face it, most of us Gen X's have a lot of trauma.
Well, the reality of it is everybody thinks they have trauma. Even if they've lived a gifted life, they suddenly feel like something,
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah. So everybody's gonna, claim to have some is worse, some is real trauma, some is, just perceived trauma.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
But you can't live in that minutia, and you can't live in that drama, and you can't live in the past. The past is gone. You can't change it. It's done. Okay. You need to appreciate it for what it was, take from it what you were supposed to, and see what it was you were supposed to learn. And tomorrow is not promised to anyone. That's reality. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone. So what do you have? You have today.
Yep.
So you need to make the most out of every day that you have.
Which is a gift.
It is a gift. The life we have here is a gift, and people need to look at it as such. And people need to start being appreciative of what they do have and stop complaining about what they don't have.
Yes.
Because there's always going to be someone that's better off and someone that's not as well off. And that's just how we made our plans. So understand, again, I'll go back to it. We planned our life, no matter what it is. I don't care if it's the beggar on the sidewalk that's living in poverty.
Right.
Or the children in Calcutta, India. They don't know any different. They appreciate what they have every day, and they don't know any different. This is what they chose. The person that's living as a beggar on the sidewalk and day to day, and he's, they're doing drugs, whatever it is, they chose that. And, there are a lot of people in this world that have addiction issues. and they look at themselves and say, "Oh, I'm not worthy. I'm an alcoholic, or I'm a drug addict." No, you planned that when you came here so that you would have that additional challenge to overcome. Because 90% of the population has some kind of an addiction issue, whether it's addicted to food,
Right.
work, talking, something, okay? And you created that so that you would have the power in your own soul to channel it into something that was going to be beneficial, not just to you, but to everyone else as well. And you can use it as an excuse all you'd like until you get in touch with your soul and realize that,
Some
oh,
never
that's
do.
right. It's just it's an so the addiction is something that I'm supposed to do something really good with. And look at how many artists, how many actors, how many anybody has issue. Myself, I used to be a workaholic. Okay. And you have to recognize that and channel it into things that are beneficial to me and someone else, and balance it. You have to balance everything in your life.
Yeah.
So June, what about somebody as an example? Up in Long Island, they just arrested a serial killer. You know, that was the Long Island serial killer. So did his soul incarnate to come down here to do that?
So I will tell you that there is good and evil in this world. And the only people that I have not been able to bring through from the other side are the ones that have taken a life and have no remorse. So I believe that those are the people that are demonic and they're in hell, and that's why I can't bring them through. Okay. And demonic possession is a very real thing. I have seen it. I am not versed enough in exorcism to be able to remove a demon once it has taken over possession, but I have removed many attachments and I physically see them on people, and it's a real thing. And the purer your heart, the more of a target you are. I've been attacked many, many times by demonic entities, and I protect myself constantly. And I teach people and tell people constantly protect yourself because you're a target. A demon that's walking this earth does not have a body. They want your body.
Right.
And once they get your body, they will do things like the serial killers do. Okay. Because that body has been taken over by a demonic possession. It's a terrible thing, but no, that person did not reincarnate to do that. That body has been taken over.
So what about their victims?
I
They
do
come down
believe
here to be a victim.
I do believe that they did. Yes. And we call them a victim, but I look at it as they decided to get out early. That's how I see it. Because I have to tell you, it is amazing on the other side. Is it absolutely phenomenal? There's no other place you'd ever want to be once you've been there. And I look forward to going back. I can still, through meditation, get to the lowest level, get to the fifth dimension. So a lot of people that I never called it a near-death experience because I died and I came back here by choice. But a lot of people that have gotten to the level that I have gotten to, which is 1% of the people that have had near-death experiences, when they come back, they become suicidal because they cannot recreate the feeling that they had on the other side. So they can do that through meditation. When you meditate and get in touch with your soul and raise your vibration, I can go back and forth to the fifth dimension at any time, which is the lowest level of heaven. And I can talk to those souls anytime that I want, and I can have that feeling all the time. It's amazing. So the people that came through here and chose to leave early, yes, they did do that. I do believe that that was part of their plan. Now, you can die outside of your plan, okay? And that was brought to my attention a few years back when I was bringing through, it's actually when I first started out, I was bringing through a carload of teenagers that had been in a car accident and everyone in the car was killed. And two of the girls were cousins. And I did a reading for a woman one week. And the next week, I didn't know it was her aunt that came in, but the same two girls were standing there. And I'm like, I'm confused. Why are the same two girls here? It's because they were cousins. But they both let me know that it was not their time to die. They died outside of their life path. They were not listening to their soul. They were not where they were supposed to be. They knew they should not have gotten in the car, and they did it anyways.
Yep.
So they did die outside of their life path. And for that reason, it was very traumatic for them, for their soul, knowing that they didn't follow their soul's plan. So when that happens, you really have to have a lot more counseling on the other side before you can make your plan and come back again. Same thing with people that commit suicide. Suicide is never written into your plan. That is something that people do to die outside of their life plan, and it is never acceptable. And I have only brought through one person from the other side that was not remorseful for committing suicide. And I think that person's soul has a lot more work to do before they can come back again. Because when you commit suicide, everyone you were supposed to interact with on this side, everything changes. You're not there. So the angels have to scramble to try to fix all these things that you were supposed to do when you were here. And I've brought through many, many suicide victims and talked to many of them. So I know that that's the case.
Well, and then doesn't it also? I mean, I've had a suicide in our family, and he was 12, and to this day, his mother carries around the suicide note, and he was 12, he would be 40 now, 30 years. That's affected that whole pod of souls.
It has, and that's why the angels have to come down, and they have to now change everyone's life plan around a little bit so that they can still learn the lessons they were supposed to have been learning, interacting with the person that left. It's a lot of work. That's why it's, before they can come back again, they really have to do a lot of work. And the way I found out about the work that they do, I had a younger sister that passed about 8 years ago now, and I was her legal guardian. She was an alcoholic and into drugs when she was here, and she was actually murdered. When she was here, was very angry at me because she didn't like the fact that I was her legal guardian. She wanted her own control. And when she died, she came through once or twice, but not very often. And she let me know that she was working on her soul. And after, time is different, so it's about 3.5 years for us to one of their years. So after about 3.5, 4 years, she came and let me know that she came back completely different, coming through like she was at like 18, and very happy and apologizing to me and let me know that she had worked on her soul and understood why she did the things she did, and she wanted to make sure that she didn't come back and do them again. Yeah.
See, and I've heard of that referred to as classes, that they do attend classes.
They do. Yeah. They do. Yeah. On the other side, so that they don't do
classes. Yeah. How long does a soul reincarnate? Is there a time frame?
I've found that we reincarnate every 300 to 400 years our time, because they want to kind of make sure that everybody that they knew and the grandkids and the great-grandkids are all gone before they come back again. But there is an exception to every rule. I was trying to bring through a 10-year-old girl for a family who had been murdered, and she wasn't coming through. So her family came through to let me know that she had reincarnated almost immediately when she was murdered. So it's rare, but it happens.
Yeah.
Just
What about being in relationships? Say if have a friendship and one of your friends is, say, an energy vampire. What's your take on something like that? Just throwing it out there.
There absolutely are energy vampires,
Right.
because they are not connected with their own soul. So again, you need to avoid that person because they will drain you. They will completely drain you. And most people that have started their awakening are empaths, which means you're absorbing everyone else's energy anyways.
Yes.
So you need to make sure that you're clearing that energy off of you every day with sea salt. Rub it on yourself in the shower or before you take a bath. You have to do that, or it's almost like lint balls all over you. You know,
Yes.
you can't walk around like that. You just can't. It will destroy your energy. You've got to get rid of it. You got to shut it. That's why I live near the water. I live right near the ocean. Because that ocean air. I go to the
Oh, I
ocean
know.
every morning.
I got
Yep.
the ocean too.
Yeah, every
I love
morning
the
that
ocean.
sea salt clears that
Yep.
energy field for me.
Yep, love it.
Jealous
Yeah.
girls. I want to be by the ocean. I'm by the Ohio River, the old toxic dump.
Get some sea salt.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
explains a lot, Melissa says.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Oh.
awesome. All right, we got 6 minutes left, guys. So any
Oh.
questions, shoot them out now.
So I see Melissa saying that it answered a question for her that her husband knew he was going to die 18 months prior. Yes, your soul knows. I knew. From a child, I always thought that I would die before I was 30. And after I injured my back, I needed back surgery, and I was afraid because I just kept saying, I'm going to die. I know I'm going to die. If I go in for surgery, I'm going to die. And I put it off for 5 years until I couldn't put it off any longer. And all my friends, my husband, they're like, oh, you're just afraid. You're just afraid. I'm like, no, I'm telling you, I know I'm going to die. And sure enough, I did. So yes, your soul absolutely knows when it's going to die. Whether or not it lets your 3D body, no, that's another story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched my mom die.
I was frozen for a minute.
Yeah. I watched my mom die, and she knew I wanted to see her soul leave her body, and I was able to actually see her soul leave her body.
Yep.
It's an amazing thing.
It is amazing. It's amazing to watch. I mean,
it was.
People might think it's morbid, but it's not. A peaceful death is amazing.
She knew I wanted to see it.
She
comes back. She comes back through all the time for me, and she died at 93. She comes through at the age of 20.
Oh, God love her heart.
Yeah. Well, they come through how they thought they looked the best in this lifetime. That's how they usually come through. Yeah. Yeah. So she's very happy. Yeah. Yep.
Howie's very quiet again.
Oh, he's just absorbing.
Just taking it in.
Taking it in. So, God love him.
So if anybody's looking for my books, if anybody's looking for the book, so they want to get on the free webinar, there's a free webinar on my website as well, juneedward.com. There's videos that you can watch. There is a lot of testimonials of people that have gone through my program. There's a free webinar you can sign up for. There's links to all of my books on there. A Night on the Other Side is actually a tutorial on how to meditate, how to sage your house, how to clear things out. There's some stories in there from house things, some things that I did, some readings that I've done. And The Making of a Medium, what's it called? Dancing with the Universe is my second book. That's my autobiography. And I basically wrote that book because I did have a very, very challenging, difficult, abusive life. And for all those people that are poor me, nobody's been through what I've been through. Trust me, I have. It's in the book. And my third book, The 5 Love Lessons, are the 5 lessons your soul needs to learn to advance from level to level. And they are communication and balance, patience, self-worth, unconditional love, and what's the fifth one? Balance, communication, trust, self-worth. I said patience, money and balance, self-worth, communication, trust, unconditional love, and oh my goodness, what was the fifth lesson? You got me now. Unconditional love, patience, money, balance.
2 minutes.
Oh, communication, trust, money and balance, self-worth, unconditional love. Doing it again.
I call those brain farts.
I'm having one now, but those are the 5 love lessons that we have to learn.
And are your readings on your website as well for people that want to get your readings?
Yep. Under services, all the readings and mediumship, everything's on there for you.
Yeah, I think we did share the link, or Howie shared the link. My brain's still dead.
I shared. We're good. I definitely want to get that out there. It's on the Restream, and it's also on my personal page on Facebook, public profile page. You can go there as well. and I'll also upload it to the episode on our fan page in the event location so everyone can have access to all this information.
And if I disappear on you, it's because my battery is blinking.
Yeah. Well, we're
You're
perfect
wonderful.
timing.
We got like
It was
1
meant
minute
to
left.
happen.
We're
Thank
very
you all. Thank you all for having me. And
Oh,
again, it's
thank you
June
for
at
coming
juneedward.com.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
very, very welcome. You're very welcome. Enjoy your weekend.
We will.
All right.
We
And thank you,
will.
everybody that was listening.
There we go.
Oh, she was amazing.
Yeah, really quite interesting. I wish my head wasn't in such a fog that I could have come up with more interesting crap, but I didn't.
Oh, she's amazing.
Stuff. I have to remember to say stuff. Yeah, she is. I like her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Howie, great guest.
I think this show is going to give an opportunity for a lot of other professionals
Yep.
that are outside of where our norm is to come speak with us, help others, like this direction that June just had.
Right.
I loved it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
and
one of
anybody
those
that wants to
red
come on
lights.
that actually, if they have books, I mean, I've got a Kindle. I can pretty much get a lot of stuff for free. So to read the book before the show, which I don't have an issue with that. It's just that I've been in a fog today this week.
I will get one of her readings and then come back and share it. That'll be fun.
It's a great idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, I kind of like that idea. Huh.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that.
Again, I would like to thank June Edward for coming on and spending your morning with us and have this wonderful discussion we had today. To our amazing hostess, that way and there. Thank you both. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in this morning and taking your time out. It was a wonderful show. I know that everybody was talking about talk more. I'm like, I really can't. I had to take some in, but my throat is so sore right now. I'm just kind of going, I'm doing the best I can.
God love you.
Well,
Tea,
that's all
honey,
in
and
my head.
lemon, and a shot of whiskey, shot of
I'm
bourbon.
working. Crown Royal and honey. What are you talking about?
That's right.
Just a little shot. I don't drink, so there you go. But again, check out all of her YouTube. Check out her books. Go to Facebook. Check her out.
Yeah.
She has two major ones, June Edward, or you can go June Edward, the medium. You want to go look at both of those. I've also posted those as well in the event site. So we encourage you, please go out there and educate yourself.
She's the real deal, I feel.
Did I
Yeah.
just?
I like her. I like her. She's nice. She's very knowledgeable, very high energy. As far as like an energy reader type person that I am, I like her energy. Her energy is very light and pure, and so you know you're not getting one of those fly by night, ridiculous people that I forget what you call them because I'm having a brain fart and my brain isn't working. You know, the wannabes. She's actually the real deal. And I do like her energy. And this is the second time the first time she's been here, but I like her energy. There's just something about her where she's extremely knowledgeable and gifted, and I just like her energy. I don't know how else to put it.
Well, do we have anything else for us, or
No,
are we doing your thing? We're doing?
What are we doing?
we're
All
done.
right, I guess.
Have a great weekend.
A la vista, babies.
Hasta la
Take care of your
vista.
throat. Take care of your throat.